America is not a racist country.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the very racist senator from Alabama, Tommy Tuberville. And he recently came out at a rally and falsely claimed that Democrats are pro crime and support reparations for Blacks whose ancestors were enslaved because those uh, to those who do crime. Well, first of all, Tommy Tuberville, white people ain't got no damn business sitting in somebody's face talking about crimes. And I mean, just this year alone, look at the mass shootings and look at the faces behind the mass shooting. Look at Brett Favre and Phil Bryan. They don't even want to talk about that in the news, but they'll sit there and talk about some damn affair. I bet you affairs are happening in all of professional sports: hockey, football, baseball, basketball. I bet you there's a ton of affairs going on. So no, y'all get off of the damn soapbox talking about some crimes. You got a lot of nerve. People who come and steal a country and mass killed by the millions don't need to be talking to somebody about crimes. You sit in these the Tommy Tuberfields are there to sit in these positions to keep the black population down. These are the ones that will, instead of giving you a crime bill, he will fund the police so that they can continue on their quest of murdering us unarmed. See, that this is the type of person that will do that. This is the type of person that's for mass incarceration. This is the type of person that goes out ranting because he feels if you got melanin in your skin, you shouldn't be asking for anything up in this society. And this is the kind of person, Tommy Tuberfield, that will encourage the people among him to harm us. So, as far as reparations, the Democrats don't want us to have reparations, Tommy Tuberville, Ville, or whatever the hell your name is, because if that were the case, we would have reparations. They don't want us to have reparations any more than the Republicans do. See, that's the one thing both parties agree on, that the black community shouldn't get reparations. So that's definitely a false statement from you. And as far as pro crime, it was the Democrats and the Republicans that signed on to Joe Biden's crime bill. You both collectively signed on to that bill. So don't come to us talking about no pro crime. Y'all both signed on to the crime bill. Y'all both signed on to Bill Clinton's bill, and all the mass incarceration happened. Joe Biden and Bill Clinton are largely responsible for a multitude of black men sitting in these prisons today over some of the most minor things, and in most cases, a crime that never happened. And those were Democrats. So you can miss us with this Democrats are pro crime and they support reparations. You can miss us with that, buddy. You couldn't back that up to save your mama's life. No, you both collectively pass crime bills that impact largely the black community, and you both don't support reparations. That's why we don't have it. So you can miss us with that. So, a remark that has generated accusations of racism and criticism as dishonest. Well, he's no more dishonest than the rest of them sitting up there in Washington, D.C., as far as I'm concerned. Speaking at a rally in Minden, Nevada on Saturday, headlined by former President Donald Trump, the senator and former football coach dismissed the oft repeated Republican claim that Democrats are soft on crime and made the baseless statement that Democrats are pro crime. Well, not as long as Bill Clinton and Joe Biden's crime bills that have harmed the Black community are still in place, then no, they're not pro crime. Like I said, you both, Democrats and Republicans, both single handedly have caused a lot of harm to our community. And you did that on purpose. Your whole main goal over these past 500 years was to push us down at the bottom at all costs. And see, we don't sit around believing everything that you say anymore. Now, there are some that still do, but those folks are becoming smaller and smaller among us. A lot of us, no, we don't believe the history that you've given us that we were only slaves. You know, we never, many of us never believed you on that one. And we don't believe all of this stuff. Oh, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Oh, well, when you put the Head Right program in place, were you pulling yourself up by the bootstraps? How about these appraisals that are going on where a white appraiser will come out to your house and give you top dollar for your house, but lowball the Black community homes? Did you earn that? Was that earned? Yeah, you can miss us all. So, ladies and gentlemen, they're claiming that it's a baseless statement that the Democrats are pro crime. Tuberville and Trump are campaigning for Nevada's GOP candidates ahead of the November midterm elections. They're pro crime, Tuberville. That's a weird ass name. What is that? What, Tuberville? That's a weird name. Said, they want crime. No, you both want crime because you profit off of crime. That's why your cops don't stop crime. The politicians don't stop crime. None of you stop crime. You whine about crime, but then you don't want crime to go away. See, when you put men and women in prison, you get all that free labor. It's just slavery. See, what you do is you repackage and you kind of change things up, but it's still the same thing. So you make huge billions and billions of dollars every year off of that slave labor in prison. And then when people get out of jail and they're trying to come back to society, what you do, you all collectively lock them out of the labor market. So ultimately, you all collectively do this. And then ultimately, they end up back in jail. And that's all by design. But you will give a white criminal a second chance, regardless to what crime they commit. You'll give them a second chance. But a Black criminal, lots of times they'll end up so broke, they'll turn back to crime. But you do that on purpose. Just like you got your school to prison pipeline. That's why Karen is in the Black community teaching in these schools. You've been playing this psychological warfare on us forever. But see, many of us, it don't work anymore. It don't work no more. Mm-mm. So you might want to try different people because that mess ain't working anymore. Not like it used to. So He goes on to say they want to control what you have. No, y'all have collectively tried to control what we have. That's why you got the appraisals out here the way that it's going. That's why we get charged more on utility than white people. No, you have done that. You have done that. Your politicians like Tuberville here have done things like that. And your cops are out here doing that every day, locking up innocent people. They go to the poorest neighborhoods to patrol, put innocent people, trump up charges on them, and they don't have money to get out of the system. So you have collectively worked hard in keeping us down. Tuberville has done that too. He ain't fooling nobody getting up on a soapbox, making this kind of speech. He's not fooling a damn living soul. They want reparations because they think the people that do crime are owed that. No. In fact, the majority of the black community don't commit crimes. In fact, the majority of these people y'all are locking up didn't commit crimes. That's why these exonerations happen every single day. Every day, there are exonerations happening all across America. So if a person is not a criminal, they'll turn you into one by lying on you and throwing you behind bars. They think they can make you the stereotype. If you don't fit the bill, they think they can make it fit. So he also added profanity in his speech, which goes to show you how unprofessional Tuberville is. He has no professionalism in him at all. Although a handful of Democrats in Congress have expressed support for reparations for Black Americans who descend from people enslaved in the United States, the Democratic Party as a whole does not support the idea. They sure don't, because we would have had it by now. The Democrats and Republicans in both the Congress and Senate do not support reparations. They gave you H.R. 40 to try to silence you. That's all that was for. Even with H.R. 40, the intent is never to give you a thing. And you see, that's not going nowhere. Neither party wants you to have reparations. So Tuberville can miss us all with this crap he's standing there talking. House Democrats have backed a bill that would create a commission to study reparations. It's amazing how you need a commission to study reparations. You sure didn't need a commission to study the war over there in Ukraine with the Russians. You didn't need to study that at all. When you brought all these people over here from Afghanistan, I didn't see no study going on. When you gave the Asians that crime bill, where was the study? You know, that's why I'm saying when they tell you stuff like studies and we got to look at this and investigate, what they're really telling you, we ain't doing nothing. We're not going to do nothing. That's what they're really saying. So, as a result, some prominent Democrats have encouraged Biden to sign an executive order that would create the commission. I wish y'all would stop wasting your time. We don't need a commission. You should have done a commission for Ukraine. Okay, where was your commission for all of these immigrants that coming across the board? How come you didn't study that? When Biden has not signed an executive order, he backed his plans to study reparations while campaigning for president in 2020, a position he has maintained since he took over the presidency. That's bullshit because he hasn't done a thing. Get out of here. Miss us all. Tuberville, and most Republicans contacted by the Washington Post were silent about the comments on. I bet they were. I bet their asses were. Yeah, Tim Scott, where are you now? He's a Republican just like you. Where are you, Tim Scott? America is not a racist country. The hell out of here. But Rep. Byron Donald, Florida, one of two black Republicans in the House, defended, listen to this, y'all. This black Republican defended Tuberville by suggesting that Ariel Atkins, a Black Lives Matter Chicago activist, shares the lawmaker's view. This is a black Republican talking. So, some of y'all, and I have done videos, and it's not all of you, but some people have wrote, oh no, you're wrong about black Republicans. Black Republicans, we do support the black community. Well, this one's not. And he's in office where he can do a lot of harm. This one don't. Byron Donald, he don't. He's agreeing with Tuberville, a black Republican, y'all. Remember that name, Byron Donalds. All right. While some Democratic leaders denounce criminal activity in response to the May 2020 death of George Floyd, um, remember, they couldn't even get the George Floyd bill passed. The George Floyd crime bill, they couldn't get that passed. So if the Democrats were really with us, they would have got that bill passed. They couldn't get it passed because of the qualified immunity that was in it. So that right there tells you the Democrats are not with us, and neither are the Republicans. They couldn't even, they always want to raise the name George Floyd, but they couldn't get that crime bill passed. They couldn't do it. And you heard the Republicans, they wouldn't go along with the bill because of the qualified immunity, suggesting that that should be taken away, that was in the bill. So does that sound like either party is with us? We know we're on our own. And y'all need to stop trying to act like we got all this backing up in Washington. We never had it. The hell out of here. So, while some Democratic leaders denounced criminal activity in response to the May 2020 death of George Floyd, uh, he was a resident of Minnesota. Atkins argued that looting is a form of reparations. Well, then everybody in the country got reparations. Didn't we see white people looting too after hurricanes? So then everybody in the country, their group got reparations. So y'all, you see what this black conservative is doing? You may tell me, oh no, black conservatives are with the black community. Yeah, but you got one sitting in Washington, D.C., in a seat of power, and he's going against the black community. So you can't tell me in one instance you're for it, and then you got one sitting in office. Who put this man in office? Who put this man in office? This is a man that came out of the South, y'all, Florida. And he sounds more white supremacist than a white supremacist. I'm going to have to look this dude up. I'm sure I'm going to find a lot of interesting things on Byron Donalds. So I don't care if somebody decides to loot a Gucci or a Macy's or a Nike store, because that makes sure that persons eat, she said in August of 2020 during a rally in support of more than 100 people who were arrested after looting in Chicago. Well, I've seen looting after fires, and those weren't black people. After wildfires go through a community, there's always a ring of people that will go in there. And, there's always a few homes that have some damage, but it's not badly damaged. And then, of course, some are burnt down to the ground. There are people, because I did a story on one that happened in California. They caught a ring of white people running around looting in neighborhoods that were caught in wildfires. And so they went to find those homes that weren't badly damaged and went in there and looted. But when this media tells these stories, they only want the face of the looter to be black. And we know damn well that's not true. So Atkins said that is reparations. Atkins added, anything they want to take, it's because these businesses have insurance. Well, yeah, they do. So anything they lose, their insurance is supposed to cover it. Donald's blame, this is the same one that agreed, black conservative that agrees with Tuberville. Donalds blame liberal lawmakers for this type of criminal activity and argued that Tuberville has a record of caring more for black people than members of the opposing party do. No, Donalds is just reminding us all skin folk ain't our kinfolk. He's definitely reminding us of that. Y'all, hold on. I'm going to show a picture of this black conservative that's agreeing with Tuberville. This is the black conservative Byron Donalds that said Tuberville was correct. He said looting is your reparations. He's opposed to black people having reparations. Know your enemy. Byron Donalds is an enemy. He is an enemy. Out of Florida, rep from Florida, a black conservative. But see, somebody the other day came on here and say, you're wrong about black conservatives. Black conservatives are for the black community. Well, I tell you what, Byron Donalds, he's not for the black community. Candace Owens is not for the black community. Jesse Lee Peterson is not for the black community. The ones that y'all prop up all over the media, they're not for the black community. Larry Elders, no, see, the ones you prop up aren't like that. So if you black conservatives claim you are about your people, then why don't you rail against these people that are being propped up all the time by the white media? It's the white media that props up the Byron Donalds. See, this is the only kind of black people they can tolerate. So they prop them up. But anyone that talks or oppose this kind of thing, we're the enemy. We're the enemy. We're the enemy. But I tell you what, we are the ones that will tell your ass the truth. The Byron Donalds, you know what people like him do? They'll talk like this. Oh, black people don't need reparations. Black people are wrong. Black people are the criminals. But when you're not around, the Byron Donalds talk just like me. You know how many times I've seen that in my lifetime? A lot. See, that's what you don't realize. See, they sound all good when the mic is on. But when they're not around you and within their own, oh, they be agreeing a lot with what we say. They just won't do it in front of you. So if anybody can't be trusted, it's your Candace Owens and Byrons that are just in it for the money. But see, all they got to do is mess up one time and be for their people just once. The problem is you will discard them in a hot second. I don't care about being discarded with, by you or with, I don't care about that because I'm not trying to be with you to be discarded or anything else. But these types, I can tell you, they're only in it for the money. They know if they keep talking like this, there's plenty of money in it for them. But you let a cop pull him over or pull over somebody in his family, watch how fast he'll flip. I know what I'm talking about. You can trust them if you want. I know these people through and through. But let's get back to the story, y'all. It ain't up to me to make you learn who these people are. That's on you. So, anyway, crime is at top of the mind for Americans due to soft on crime policies and progressive prosecutors in liberal cities. So, this is Byron still talking, told the Post on Monday. As a coach and mentor to countless Black men, Tommy Tuberville has done more to advance Black lives than most people, especially in the Democratic Party. This is Byron Donalds still talking. But Bakari Sellers, an activist and civil rights lawyer, criticized Tuberville for building his wealth as Auburn University head coach, a football coach from 1999 to 2008, while Black young men risked their health under his leadership. Tommy Tuberville can go to hell. And let me tell you why, Sellers said on CNN. The fact is, he's made tens of millions of dollars off of unpaid Black men as a football coach. He literally has the stature he has because people went out there and assumed the risk and incurred the risk of concussions, playing hard and everything, he added. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so Rep Kwasi Mfumbe, um, the former president and chief executive of the NAACP, said that Tuberville's hateful comments can spur violence among Black people. So his comments are most vicious, vile, repugnant, racist. So he's just saying a lot of Mfume. I'm sorry. I've messed up his name. I'm sorry about that, y'all. MSNBC. So people that take the sick ones and they figure that they have to do something to extend the senator's philosophy. I would hope that every elected officials on both sides of the aisle condemns what the lawmaker said. He is a bigot, and until he says something different, he will always be seen as a bigot. The Nevada State Democratic Party called Tuberville's remarks racist and has nothing to do, less than monstrous, condemned the GOP for not speaking out against them. The refusal of Republicans, including those in our own state, to condemn this malignant bigotry is yet another example of how corrupted the GOP have become. No, they haven't become that way. They've always been that way. By extremism and hate, a spokesman, Gordon Brown, told the Post. So, y'all, it's just another politician. We have seen this so many times. with politics, with both Democratic and Republican people sitting there in Washington, D.C., the ones that are making laws and policies, and this is the attitudes they have. And then they got the nerve to try to put the blame on us when they have been heavy participants in our demise in America, heavy participants. And ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter what the politicians on the left and right say at this point. Is it really going to change our lives? No. We have seen racism and bigotry all throughout Washington, D.C., among these politicians forever. And they have not done any serious thing to change this from happening, and it will never change. The agenda is to keep us at the bottom at all cost and elevate them. It doesn't matter if it's through laws, policies, or straight up cheating. That's America, the real America. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this story. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.